Before we started the exhibition, we were split into 4 groups and rotated through workshops aimed at developing our skills in 4 areas. These were making displays and scrapbooking to help with our journals, developing questionnaires for making surveys, filling in risk assessment sheets and writing letters for arranging our trips, and finally using Web 2.0 applications, shooting videos and using cameras. As you can see, we needed a lot of practice. Most epic ever. We began in week 1 by breaking down our central idea. We looked at ideas and issues that we felt were important in our classes and also at different ideas for how we express ourselves creatively. We also shared the timeline for our exhibition journeys, looked at what our roles were, and discussed our weekly journal entries, which were helped by a weekly guideline sheet which we could read on the Beacon.
In week 2, our exhibition groups were finalized. We discussed lots of different aspects of our journals that would have to be completed, such as our declaration of academic honesty sheets, learner profile checklist, skills and attitudes checklist, and we developed our group essential agreements. We also discussed keeping minutes and recording our progress through our journeys. We also began our group meetings with Ms. Chung. As well as that, we began the tuning in stage of our inquiry cycle. As part of our inquiry into ways we can express ourselves creatively, each class had some dance sessions with Brian's Academy of Dance, as you can see.
In week 3, we continued to tune into our exhibition and started the finding out stage. We completed sheets to help us focus our initial ideas. We also looked at Beacon Hill's program of inquiry and looked at the central ideas and how lines of inquiry link to them. We then developed our own lines of inquiry. We also developed our questions and grouped them into concepts to help us develop our key concepts. We then began our initial steps to researching, having defined our research questions.
In week 4, we continued to focus on the finding out stage of our learning journeys. We used our research skills to collect new information from as many sources as we could. We looked at collecting evidence of our chosen issue or idea and recorded all the sources we had used. We carried on writing up our minutes when we met as groups and made decisions. We also began to think of any trips, interviews that we wanted to take. Year 6 also got to see the Kids on the Block. They are a group that perform creative puppet shows aimed at raising awareness of different issues to school children. We also went to see the Sinfonietta in Central.
After the Easter holiday, different groups were now beginning to be at slightly different stages in their inquiries. Some groups were now beginning to complete the finding out stage through taking interviews, taking surveys, etc. We also began to discuss possible ideas for action and different ways in which we could raise awareness for issues through expressing ourselves creatively. We also began to work on our Mandarin work for our exhibition. We also had to complete our pages for Beacon Hill's yearbook this week.
We continued with taking on trips, surveys, analyzing data, extending our research, planning our action, and the different ways we were going to express ourselves creatively.
We made plans on how we were going to take action and who our target audience were for our action. We were well and truly in the going forward stage of our exhibition journey.
Week 7 was a short week with only 3 days in school. We continue with our going further stages, as well as taking action stages after finding different ways to raise awareness for our issues and ideas. We also began reflecting on the whole process and entering our final stages.
By this stage, we were beginning to plan our final exhibition. We finalized our taking action stage of our journey and reflected on our personal journeys through the whole exhibition. We then began to panic when we realized that we had to do in our last week.
In our last week, we have been finalizing our journals and preparing our exhibition stands. We had to go to the hall to plan our stalls and prepare our final exhibition as you have seen it today.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can't count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah.